Breaking news, a mass shooting following the end of a Lunar New Year's festival in Monterey Park, California. That's east of downtown Los Angeles. At least 9 people reported killed.
Breaking news out of Buffalo, New York, where at least 7 people have been shot and killed in a mass shooting at a Tops grocery store.
Breaking news right now, at least 3 children are reported dead after a shooting at Covenant School, a private Christian school in Nashville.
Why is it that the United States, with just 5% of the world's population, accounts for nearly 1/3 of all mass shootings? What is it about guns that incite such passion in America? And why is the mere mention of gun control enough to spark a heated debate? This is DocuLearn, and today we'll explore the complex and often controversial issue of gun violence in America. Mass shootings have become all too familiar in the United States. Since 1966, there have been more than 100 mass shootings in which 4 or more people were killed, and the frequency seems to be increasing. The debate over gun control in America is a contentious one, with strong opinions on both sides. Supporters of the Second Amendment argue that the right to bear arms is a fundamental right protected by the Constitution and that restricting access to guns would violate that right. Opponents of gun ownership, on the other hand, argue that the high rate of gun violence in America is a public health crisis that demands action. In America, gun ownership is deeply ingrained in the culture. Guns are seen by many as a symbol of freedom and self-reliance, and hunting and shooting are popular pastimes. The United States also has some of the most permissive gun laws in the world, with an estimated 393 million civilian-owned firearms. While mass shootings capture the headlines, the majority of gun violence in America occurs in urban areas. Gun violence is the leading cause of death for young black men in America, and homicide rates in cities like Chicago, Baltimore, and Detroit are among the highest in the world. This violence has a devastating impact on communities, causing fear, trauma, and economic hardship. School shootings are a particularly distressing form of gun violence in America. In 2018, there were 24 school shootings in which someone was either injured or killed. These incidents have a lasting impact on survivors, their families, and the wider community. They also raise difficult questions about school safety, mental health, and access to guns. In response to the high rate of gun violence, there have been numerous proposals for gun control measures in America. These include universal background checks, bans on assault weapons, and red flag laws, which allow for the removal of firearms from individuals who pose a danger to others. Efforts to prevent gun violence in America also include a range of programs and initiatives aimed at reducing the risk of these events. These include community-based violence prevention programs, mental health services, and school safety measures. Although these efforts have shown promise, they are often underfunded and lack widespread support. Ultimately, the impact of gun violence in America is felt most deeply by those who have been directly affected by it. Survivors of mass shootings, victims' families, and those who have lost loved ones to urban gun violence carry the emotional and psychological scars for a lifetime. Their stories are a sobering reminder of the human cost of gun violence in America. As the debate over gun control in America continues, it's important to remember that behind the statistics and the politics, there are real people whose lives have been forever changed by gun violence. It's up to all Americans as a society to find a way to address this complex issue and prevent more senseless tragedies. In conclusion, gun violence is a complex and urgent problem in America. It affects individuals and communities across the country, and it is a significant public health issue. While there are no easy solutions to this problem, there are many potential strategies that could help to reduce the incidence of gun-related deaths. Improved background checks, mental health services, community-based violence prevention programs, and policies to reduce the number of guns in circulation are all potential solutions that could help to address this issue. In addition, cultural shifts that promote non-violent conflict resolution strategies could also be effective in reducing the prevalence of gun violence. Ultimately, addressing the problem will require a concerted effort from individuals, communities, and policymakers across the country. By working together, progress can be made towards a safer and more peaceful society. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to help us by subscribing to our channel so you won't miss future documentaries on the different unique challenges that countries around the world are facing.